Servant here, the Man Kave Experience. It's funny, I was just, as I'm checking in right now, I was noticing when I look back, said on video, I was like, I blink a lot. I'm like looking at myself and like, my God, what are you blinking so much for? I guess my eyes get dry. So anyway, but welcome listeners to the Man Kave Experience. So excited to be here as always. Just loving us in this space, creating opportunity for conversation with two men from two completely different areas of the world. I'm in Southern California, white man, getting older and older, 55 years old, and connecting with the amazing Cedric Edison from Texas in the Austin area. And I'm not going to butcher his age. I'm always trying to make him older than he is. And he's like, no, I'm not that old yet. But just here on a Saturday afternoon, just checking in, feeling a lot of excitement. And I'd love to hear, Ced, how things are going for you, and just a quick check-in.
What up, y'all? Welcome to the Man Kave Experience. Man, what's good in my hood? Everything, man, is just good. I'm on that up part of the roller coaster ride now, on this ebb and flow. Man, it's Saturday. I got health. I got business. It's just good, man. It's good. And let's see, age-wise, I'm old enough to remember when TV went off at midnight and came back on at 5 a.m.
But you're also young enough. You're also young enough to almost be my son, right?
Almost, yeah. That's crazy. But I'm still young, man. I can remember the internet coming out. That's crazy.
Right. Awesome.
Man, and I hope everything is good in y'all world out there listening. Hope it's all good.
Yeah, just feeling the energy, feeling the just the excitement of just kind of moving through springtime and knowing just what's ahead of the year, and just all these things that are becoming just exciting in our lives. And hopefully you, the listener, are creating opportunities for experiencing things in your life that bring joy and happiness and growth and all these things that we talk about here. But today we're kind of going all the way back to the beginning and thinking about this channel and what it represents to us. And so we're going to dig into and dive into a conversation around what we feel it's like to, or how we define being a man, what it means to us to be a man. And again, this is just our points of view based on our own experience. So you men out there might have a completely different, kind of thought or experience around how you look at being a man based on your own, growth and life in general. And you women out there, might be just curious on how men kind of put themselves out there as far as what we think our roles are, how we think we should live our life. And then, again, this is just Cedric and I just sharing these thoughts around what it feels to us on how we define, being a man. So tell me, Ced, when I threw that topic out there, what came up to you right away as far as that resonated with you as far as how you define being a man?
At first, I got super excited. I was like, man, it's a topic that men need to talk about. But, as I think about it, what comes up, man, is one, I'm grateful for the growth that I've had because, man, I was taught wrong on how to be a man. And even to the point now I deal with it, I was taught to not show emotion and all of that. And it caused me to literally, and I wouldn't say blame, but a lot of it also came from the military, getting that switch. Because you learn with a drill instructor real quick to turn your emotions off, like face, don't let them see it, because that could just have some very, very bad consequences. But man, the 180 is totally different. Now, especially being a dad, that shifted the whole perspective for me. And that really resonates with me a whole lot, because now I'm like, I really don't want him to have to experience the world the way I did, because yeah, I made it through. You'll make it through unless you ultimately die. Let's just be real about it. Unless you end your life or you die, you're going to make it. Just like you'll find something to eat. You're gonna be quote unquote okay.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's how it was. I just dealt with it, whatever stress that was on me, because I'm pissed off and now I can't tell, the girl I was, whoever, whatever like girl I was with or woman I was with at the time, how I really felt, because, oh my God forbid she looks at me like I'm weak, then she won't want to be with me. So I got to just internalize it. And I don't want him to have to just survive. I want him to thrive. And now I'm realizing more and more that it's transparency and vulnerability, really, um, that creates, and I really wouldn't even say create, because I mean, you're born a male, and you're a man or whatever, and we're not going to get into all the nuances behind sexuality and all of that. But, just being here, being a male and considering myself a man, I would say it's, yeah, definitely vulnerability and transparency, because anything else outside of those, then I'm not really being who I am. And if I say I am a man, just like I can say I am my dad's son, or this is my sister, that's who I am. I'm that person's sister, that person's brother, father. I'm Messiah's dad. So once I say it, I take that on, right? So me saying I'm a man, I just take on the role, right, of just being a male or considered a man, and outwardly saying it to the world, and they accept what I give out. And I believe now that the only thing I can give out is me. You see what I'm saying? And how I do that is being vulnerable, because the world doesn't give a shit if I'm in a hard time. I want them to, but I just have to put it out there. Hey, I'm going through a hard time, or I'm happy, I'm sad. I don't like that. Now it's just a matter of how I present it. I can be like, you're a dumbass for doing that now. I'm not doing it in a loving way. I'm like, hey man, I really don't appreciate, you know, you doing that, or your actions making me feel this way. And I didn't know none of that back in the day. And that's what I want to pass on to him. And yeah, like, hold your own. Don't get taken advantage of. That's how I'll tell that to any human being, male, female, woman, whatever. But in quote unquote, and that's kind of how it is now. I put man in quotations, because that's almost just a concept to me now. It's just that. Who are you? You know what I'm saying? Like, and it's crazy, because I don't think I was in that same state. When we very first talked about it, it was more defined. Nah, it's almost a concept to me now. Who are you?
And I love what you're saying, because I think it's so important for us to, you know, understand, as we grew up in our lives when we were young boys, and we had experiences where we're in different social situations, whether it's with our father or other men or boys, and we're all interacting, kind of based on, kind of what is around us, and we want to, and we're looking to those people for guidance and information to better understand what our roles are on this earth. And then we grow up, right? We have all these experiences, and we start kind of looking at our own selves and understanding more about us individually. And we have that decision to make, right? We can look back and kind of harbor resentment or judgment on those people in our lives that we didn't get what we needed from them to teach us and show us maybe how we can be the best men possible in our lives. But I think for me, and I think we've talked about this before, is we all are doing things in our lives based on our own awareness. We're experiencing things based on that. So when I look back, like at my father, he was he was in my life, but not always in my life, right? He was there sometimes physically, but he wasn't always there emotionally. So, gave me, an experience of being that type of man with him, or not that type of man, but that type of son with him. And, we learn those things, right? And then we evolve, hopefully, and then we move into our own relationships with, other people in our life, whether it's a wife, husband, a son, whatever that might be. And oftentimes we kind of reflect back on our previous behaviors of what we've experienced. And that's our opportunity to at least take that step back, right? And know that we don't have to create such a large separation between men and women, or black and white, or all these other things that create this point of difference, right? And I love, the
Yeah.
idea of you bringing this up around just this man in quotations, meaning that, that we don't have to look at things in such a light that there aren't these similarities, because we both have, men and women have these, feminine, masculine energies that, are going to naturally become part of an experience. And then as a man, we can recognize that and know that, we can be in emotional situations and flow with that, like a woman and feminine energies are naturally part of them, and we can recognize that that's part of us as well, and learn to, at times, be able to be that same type of free flowing, feeling connected person that women are. And vice versa. Women can do the same thing. They can understand at times, they have to make decisions. They have to, be strong and not show their emotions, because they're maybe in business situations and they're tapping into more of that masculine side of themselves. So, when I'm thinking about just being a man, I think there is that, kind of that tendency to, create reasons why we're different, which obviously there are differences that we can talk about, but also, can we talk about those similarities, and knowing that a man can be so much more, in nature, as far as these energies that we experience, and understanding how valuable that can be in relationships, and as well as just understanding more about ourselves. So, we don't have to feel in situations socially where we're with that group of men that don't necessarily connect with us being vulnerable. We don't have to necessarily have the default of not speaking up, not sharing our thoughts, not sharing our feelings, kind of that ego driven response or behavior that is going to serve that group well. I think we do at times need to, at least for me as a man, I need to be able to, in those situations, be able to show that side of myself that may not feel comfortable, because I'm not going to get those men to say, yeah, show your emotions, go for it. But I think what I hope to do is, by living that life that I feel connected to, maybe 1, 2, 3 of those men might realize, gosh, all these years I've been, kind of suppressing my feelings and feeling like a man can't cry, or a man can't, have these emotions. Maybe I need to have those emotions, because it's just kind of keeping me stuck in my life, and it's not helping me grow my relationship with my children or my wife or whoever. So I just think there's so much more space in our lives for just appreciating and knowing that when we look at this definition of a man, it doesn't have to be black and white. We're evolving, and our stories can change because of our understanding on what opportunities are out there when we understand more about who we really are.
Yeah, man, for real, I agree, man, because I'm sitting thinking, like, really, and this is just in my opinion, when I look at the world, man, I see that's one of the biggest issues, especially in the world right now, in this climate. You have all of these cases coming out, which could have been from, they go back years and years, whatever the case, but it's because society, for some reason, places that black and white on the definition, and try and box it in to where we, ultimately become this dude that's afraid to do stuff. And it's almost like we need, and this may turn a lot of men off that's hearing it, but bear with me though, y'all, bear with me. Like it's almost like we need sensitivity training and a shift, which essentially is just we need mindset training because we have been conditioned to believe, hey, here's a man box, here's a woman box. And even if that is the case, we also allow so many people to where we confuse now because it's this person comes and drops their opinion in your box. And this person, man, a man come and drop his in this box. And now a bunch of other men are in the box with you. And now here comes a woman dropping her black and white in there. And so now you don't know what to do to even be that black and white definition of a man. And then it's all about the mindset. Why does it have to be a certain way? You know, it's you know, like let's just use the words people use. You know, like that doesn't make me a sissy, or it doesn't make me a pussy. You know, or whatever. For me, showing that we got to get out of the box and to even take the women out of that box. Like when your mom dies, let's try and draw some black and white on the reality of it. If your mom dies and you love your mom, you're going to be sad. You're going to have that emotion. So you're capable of feeling that. So if somebody comes and says something that makes you feel somewhat in that same area of sadness, you have those emotions. So we all have them. So it doesn't make you like a woman. It makes you like a human when you feel that. You know, like that's how we got to look at it. And we got to start at the basics of that mindset and ask ourselves, how can I get to the point? And if that's the case, if you don't know how, there's many coaches out there, many podcasts. We hope you listen to ours, but it's out there, you know. Hell, we even got to do it because but I know I do, hell, because I was brought up in the streets and then I entered the military. My dad wasn't around. You know, I looked at my brother who's 5 years older than me as an example of a man. And by the time it was too late, I was looking at my uncle, but I had already been shaped, you know, by society. And it was like sideline watching him. And he wasn't even doing it right, you know? So, hell, I got to recalibrate every now and then, sometimes daily, hourly, you know?
And it's not that long ago, right? Where and it's still present, unfortunately, is even a higher level of just men feeling entitled to these things that we've done over all these years, right? When you look at sexual harassment, all these things that were just kind of, people would they wouldn't even realize they were being, harassed because it was just so accepted. And now, when we look at the impact that even a subtle comment might have on somebody's life in a workplace or in a situation that's uncomfortable, how that can manifest into that person's life forever and ever. So, we're not that far detached from what, again, not many years ago when this was even more extreme. But what can we do today? How can we continue to accept us for who we are versus what we think we should have been in the past, and not feeling like we don't have these opportunities to do something different than our parents taught us, or the experiences that we've seen others experience. You know, you just look at just life in general, and in so many areas we've evolved, and you look at technology, how just technology changes every day, right? Something that's here today is gone tomorrow. What if we worked as hard on ourselves as far as what defines us as a man or a woman, or any of these other titles that we put on ourselves in our life? What if we worked as hard on those types of things, with the understanding that we can speed up our evolution as human beings if we didn't have the tendency to not put that importance on something that causes us to actually be better people. We're more focused at times on the growth of technology, again, technology, or things that are outside of us, versus how can we speed up that process of our inner growth. And I think that starts with
Yeah.
us as men, and how we conduct ourselves, and how we, share ourselves, and how we show others in our lives that it's okay to be this, because that's what we naturally are. um, and for those that are out there that that ask that question, or in a situation socially where you make the statement, be a man, I would challenge you, what is your definition of a man? What is you, how do you, what, where is this coming from in your life? So if you're going to put that, that, you're going to make that statement to somebody else in your life, I would challenge you to answer that question. What is a man to you? And where did you learn that message? Is this your own internal, kind of education of yourself, and this is what you come up with? Or is this because the friends you hang out with are the ones that told you that that's not acceptable, and you've got to do this because that if you don't, then you're not a man? Or was this just something that you grew up in a family that the men that you were around didn't create the space for you to understand and appreciate and value women, and what types of things that can allow you to be much more connected to yourself and to women, as a result of just letting go of that separation, and how we're, tap into how we're connected, and how we're, kind of similar, and all these magical and amazing things that we have that we can share with each other, versus, create these walls. And like you said, Cedric, put us in different boxes. Why can't we all be in the box together, and accept and love and appreciate and support, and all those things, that we really are our basic human needs, and just tapping into those.
Yeah. Yeah. Man, I was sitting thinking, I was like, the word image just kept popping up. And I was like, man, that's probably one of the things we need to, I wouldn't say need, that could help men in general, is the image of a man.
Mm.
Because right now, our image is pretty shitty. Like, yeah, because we've shaped it to the point now, to be a man, oh, all men care about good sex, women, porn, alcohol, and throwing some sports.
Yeah. And
That's the average image, huh?
and money, what material things we have in our lives.
Oh yeah, yeah. I gotta have all the money to get all the girls, to get all the sex, you know. Like, it's crazy, and because you were talking, I was just like, man, that's another part of it. Because, like, man, I'm really getting into this one now, because I'm really, really pissed off about the image that we have as men, and that's what's happening, because we're almost painting ourselves into a corner now. Nothing against my sisters over there, you know what I'm saying? Like, you're seeing the women's empowerment, and I get all of that. But then when I look across, I don't see anything for men. And it could be because, and I know it happens for me, like, I have to deal with it in my wheelhouse. A lot of it is a little fear, because God forbid we try to uplift men, and now there's going to be that clash. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, whoa, we really need to change the image, so we can at some point have this collectiveness between us. I was just like, man, I'm really tired, because I'm not some sex crazed dude that needs to have porn and, stuck off in. I don't need all of that. You know what I'm saying? But just when I walk down, it's even gotten so bad, and I don't know if I'm getting off, but this is how it's coming up. It's even so bad now. Like, men are all about one thing. If you're a single dude, it's almost hard to approach a female, because automatically they looking at us like, he's just trying to have sex. He's, this promiscuous dude. Hell, you could be 39, 40, and they still have that image of you. But then the question is, why are we like that? And it's because we've allowed our mindset to accept that. And at some point, you got to be willing to look inside and ask yourself, what can I do to better my image? Not each one teach one. And how you teach one is you learn on your own. What can I do to change the image of me and what it means to me to be a man? And now having a kid, and I hope this is not the case, but however you are now, and I wouldn't say I hope this is not the case, but ask yourself everything you believe as a man and that a man should be and should think. If you had a 1-year-old and you were bringing them up in the world, would you want to teach them everything that you do as a man? And how you look at women, all of that. Across the scope, you take the good is good, but I want you to take all of that bad stuff that the world could look at as being negative and that doesn't serve you in any purpose, doesn't make you any better of a human. Would you want that to go down to for generations?
Mm-hmm.
If it's no, then dig deep and then work on changing that.
Yeah.
Sorry, man. I don't know. That would just hit me I was like, yo, I was being vulnerable right there and transparent. Like I can't really.
Yeah, I mean that's spot on. Another thing I was just thinking as you were saying that was about men that have daughters, and how they might look at things quite differently once they are in that situation where they're looking at men that are looking at their daughters, and these things, these behaviors that these men have taken on in their life because of the decisions they made or who's taught them on how to be a man quickly shift. Right now they're the protective father that doesn't want these things that they are victim or the actions that they may have been taking in their life. And I'm not putting judgment on them. I'm just saying open your eyes to walking the walk and talking the talk. If you want to be an authentic, vulnerable, feeling man, be that man, not just in situations where you're protecting your daughter, but in your life with the men that maybe aren't those ones that are giving you the best advice to step up and feel your feelings and be that authentic man that you should be and want to be, but you don't show that because of judgment or not fitting in or all those kind of groups of people that we put ourselves in, and we have to kind of pick and choose how we act in situations. But how awesome would it be if we don't have to? If we can just show up to the office, show up to a party, show up to a friend's house, and just be us. Just be that person that you really want to be, knowing that that's who you really are, and you don't have to fake it. You don't have to lie to yourself or lie to others. And you, the listener, I mean, again, this is just us sharing our thoughts around what we think is important for us to be aware of in being a man. And we're throwing out these thoughts around what you might want to consider in your own life that can give you some insight on how you define a man, whether you're a woman or a man. What type of man do you want in your life as a woman? What type of father do you want to be to your son? All these things that we look at and want to experience more of, that's your choice. So what actions can you take, at the end of this podcast to create that change? It's not about, it's not about these short little, kind of efforts that we make. It's continuing to lean into that, knowing that any type of change that we want or something different in our life, it takes effort, it takes commitment, it takes, love and support and accountability, all those things that allow us to move into the direction we want to move into. So, I mean, I'm just kind of winding myself down here now, just there's still continued work for me, as I say my goodbyes today. I'm not that version of myself as a man that I know I'm destined to be, and that's just work in progress. Do I think of myself as not being a good man? No, far from it. But I know there's efforts that I can continue to make as a man, knowing that my true nature is being that both that feminine, masculine energies that unite me into being who I am, and accepting all those parts of me and sharing all those parts of me continually as I evolve as a person, as a man, as a father, as a friend, all these things that I'm, feeling the sense of purpose in my life. So thank you, Cedric, for always being the man that you are and inspiring me to, dig deep in my life based on your experiences and knowing that we all have these unique things that we go through and how we can all learn from each other. So I'm continually learning from you, and I appreciate you showing up in the way that you always show up. Appreciate you, the listener, showing up for us and supporting us and listening in. We always, know that this may or may not resonate with you, but if you have somebody in your life that this might resonate with, I would encourage you to share it. I mean, we all have to be willing to do these things in our life that may not serve us well, but they might serve others well. And how can we pass that torch or message along to somebody else that might learn exactly what they need to, or be inspired to take action in their life? So,
Yeah. Man, and I appreciate you, man. One, coming up with this fire topic. That was fire. Yeah. And same back at you, man. I learn from you all the time. Like, yo, okay, cool. And I see how you work. And but man, if I had any closing remarks, I guess I would say, don't, for one, take it from me. Like, you can still fit all the things out there, society, protector, and all of that, you know, because I would still beat somebody up behind my son. Like, I mean, let's talk man talk. I will hurt somebody behind mine. So it's not gonna take away. But here's the thing: I still have mad love for the rest of the world. You know, any of that soft stuff, take it for what it is, man. It's a balance. It'll just make you a better balanced person. Um, whereas I would be like, I kill you. I done went from that dude to, all right, man, I'm fine until you cross my threshold and come into my domain. I am in that right. Me still growing, I haven't grown to a part to where I would just put my hands up. No, I still have my stickers and all of that that say, come and take it. I bear arms. I do all of that. I hunt. I, I do all of that. But I can still say, if it's a nice looking dude over there, man, that's a good looking fella over there. Or if I feel some type of way, hey man, that hurt my feelings. It doesn't take away. So I want y'all to be able to look at that, man. Look at me. I'm being vulnerable. I'm being true. Uh, Hell, if this dude that squeaked out of high school and got kicked out the military and drug charge, all that stuff can come and tell you this, I know doggone well y'all can do it, man. I know doggone well.
love it.
So yeah, that's it, man. Till next week, I guess, huh, man?
Yes.
Love y'all. Love you, man. Namaste.
Namaste.